So here we are
Here we
in
are.
December.
I had a really weird dream last night. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I dreamed you were in my dream. Just
Oh,
to be clear.
yay.
Yeah. And I dreamed that we were staying in a hotel, and for whatever reason, the hotel room was U-shaped. I
Okay.
don't know. It was basically you walked in and you looked like you were in a regular hotel room with a bed, but then on the side there was like a hallway that then sort of went around to this whole back area of the
Okay.
hotel room. But when we first
Okay.
checked into the hotel room, it was nighttime and we were like, we just want to go to bed. And we went to sleep. And then the next morning, we were going to check out of the hotel and go on like a little trip. And so we were checking out and I was like, wait, there's this whole other part of this hotel room. And I walked back and it was like a little dining area and a little kitchenette, but it was like there was a whole aftermath of a party that had happened there. And we decided that basically the cleaning people didn't want to clean it up because they had left a huge mess. And so
Okay.
we were like, cool. So they just didn't bother to clean this up. But then when we investigated further, because obviously we had to investigate the situation,
Right.
we discovered that it was, we thought that maybe it was a remnants of a like bridal brunch situation, like maybe like where people were getting their hair done or whatever before a wedding, and they left all these like brunch supplies. And so when we looked, there was boxes of like bags of unopened Smart Pop popcorn and and all this leftover stuff. And we were like, oh shit, we needed groceries for this trip. Let's just take these unopened bags of food.
Jackpot.
Yeah. And then we opened the little mini fridge and there was a cheese drawer with unopened cheeses.
Love how your dream contains cheese drawers.
And miniature bottles of champagne.
I was waiting for the champagne. I was like, there must be mimosas then.
Yeah,
There must be.
That's how we decided that we
mimosas.
thought it was a bridal brunch or whatever, because there was white roses on the table and little bottles of champagne and definitely charcuterie-esque foods. But we were like, oh shit, okay, everything that's unopened, let's pack it up. But only the unopened things. Don't take anything
Of course.
that's been open.
Right, because we're not savages.
No, but we for sure took all of the unopened foods because we basically just decided that the cleaning people didn't want to clean that room, and so therefore we were just going to take it all.
Oh my god, I hope this dream is actually a foreshadowing of things to come for us
Right?
in a
It'd be
future
so cool if I
trip.
just discovered a cheese drawer with unopened
In a secret
cheese.
room behind our
Secret
like
room.
yeah, in our hotel
And
room.
champagne. I mean,
Yeah,
that never goes
everything we could need. Everything we could need. That's hilarious. That's a great dream. I love it. I'm Katie.
bad. And I'm Emily.
We're two long-distance best friends with a passion for learning about all the things that make everyday life interesting.
With my PhD in geography,
And my master's in library science.
doing deep dives on topics is our idea of a fun time together. We'll share our findings with you on
Researching the obvious. Oh.
So I feel like this podcast was once a dream.
Just
And
a
now
thought.
it's reality.
Just a twinkle in our eyes.
I know.
was thinking about this, like we were talking, so it would have been about 10 months ago, February of this year. I came to visit you in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we had to go get a beer from Waverly.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's right around the corner from your house.
Waverly Brewing.
That's right. Your favorite neighborhood brewery. And as we're sitting on the couch having, what were we even talking? I mean, we were having a random conversation, as we do.
Yeah. I think it might have been about the craft beer industry or something like that.
Yes.
Which we haven't done a podcast about beer. So.
Oh, that's right. Because that was on our list. So next
It was.
season,
Yeah.
look out for that. Because we came up with way more topics than I even expected to.
Yeah.
But I just remember sitting on that couch with you and just being like, we should just start a podcast. People should hear these conversations. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, these are legit conversations.
Yeah.
We should definitely keep a record of them.
Yes. We should definitely open a case file.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, neither of us had any sort of podcasting experience.
I know. I'm actually pretty impressed with how much we learned, how much we stuck with it. Because, I mean, I said it thinking like, oh, that would be a cool thing to do. But would we really do it? I didn't know. Or would it really turn into this many episodes and this many topics and this many listeners? Thank you, loyal listeners.
Yes. Thank you, loyal listeners. We love you. We love that you are enjoying us as much as we enjoy ourselves.
Yes. Which is a lot. So.
We're so modest, too.
I know.
So modest.
Oh. But seriously, though, I think it was one of like the best decisions ever because I've just really loved working on something with you. It makes me feel like we're back together again, even if we're not in the same place all the time. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
I know. I remember you suggesting a podcast and I was like, what would we even talk about? And then I thought about it some more after you left. And we started that Excel spreadsheet of topic ideas. And I was like, oh, wait, we actually have a lot that we can talk about.
We've had a lot of
outlined 26 episodes.
Yeah. Right? I mean, because seriously, the range of our conversations over our 20 years of friendship is really impressive. I don't know.
Yeah,
does everyone talk about these kind of random things?
So today we wanted to just do a short little walk down memory lane and
reflecting.
Yes,
reflecting on these past episodes.
Think about some of our most favorite facts, because I feel like even though a lot of these topics we picked them because we already had been interested on some level in them, I still feel like we learned a lot of things that
definitely.
I did not know.
Me too.
About these topics, right? I mean, there was just a lot of stuff that I was like, oh, I already had looked into XYZ, but I found this other random fact that I didn't even know before. So I thought it'd be fun to compare.
A lot of the topics led to unexpected places for me. Like I thought the topic would go one direction, and then when we actually would start researching it and talking about it, like you said, it kind of like would lead to this whole other thing that I hadn't thought about yet. And that was really fun too, to like kind of just do a little bit of a deeper dive and then find out some of these surprising things.
Yeah, see where it took us. Because you're right.
Yeah.
I think some of these topics you expected it to be a little more straightforward maybe, and then you find one fact that just takes you down a whole rabbit hole of something else. And you're like, what is going on?
Yep. And we often both would find those rabbit holes, but on different things. So that was also fun.
Yes.
Coming back together and being like, well, what rabbit hole did you go down?
Yes.
Here's what I've got.
Exactly. What do you think was your favorite episode to record?
So that's a hard question, but when I hear that question, my mind immediately goes to pizza. Maybe because I just love pizza so much. I'm a big pizza person. But
pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time.
Yes, that would be me. But that episode was so much fun to record because I felt like we both had these interesting research tracks and discovering, well, one, how many freaking types of pizza there are, because we really only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah. I thought we would be able to cover all pizza, and we did not cover
not even
all pizza.
Right.
So there's way more that you could even look into with pizza, I feel.
Right. Yes. So that, but then also, you know, you kind of went down the Sicilian pizza route and I went down the Neapolitan pizza route. And then really too, understanding how much it's evolved and changed in the United States and how popular it is. I mean, that sounds like an obvious thing to say, maybe. But when you really dig into the history of it and how it really started to develop and kind of work its way into our food culture, I just thought that was so interesting. And so it was fun to record because I love talking about pizza, but it's also fun because the topic took me somewhere where I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it like this. And it's something that we eat all the time, and I just hadn't really thought about it.
I definitely agree with that. I thought it was interesting in that episode, like you said, one, that I was able to go down this weird path of square pizzas, which didn't even occur to me that there would be a whole separate track of square pizzas versus round pizzas. But also that so many pizzas in the US, we refer to them as having these defined style characteristics, but ultimately the styles are in some ways derivative of other styles or even mashups of other styles of pizzas. And it feels like pizza sometimes is so unique and different, but really they kind of all stem from the same sort of thing.
And also just how much too in the US, how we've decided, well, we're just going to take this and we'll do something a little bit different. Or we're just going to take, like you said, this and mash it together with this, or I'm going to try this. And just how many branches of the pizza tree have been created just out of a love of pizza.
Right. And the willingness to try like any kinds of toppings, I think, on pizzas too. I just saw a pizza place near me. It has a crab rangoon pizza. So,
ooh, yum.
I mean, if that's not an American mashup of a food, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Or we didn't even talk about taco pizzas either.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Taco pizza's definitely its own thing. Buffalo chicken pizza. I mean, yeah.
So anyway, like, I don't know. That one to me, it was like, maybe epitomizes to me what we were trying to do with this podcast, which was take a topic that might seem kind of obvious or mundane, but is actually so fascinating and led us down these little rabbit holes of regionality and history and food.
Yeah.
What about you?
Ooh. I feel like maybe a weird one, but I really liked the death traditions one.
Oh yeah, that one was cool.
I think it's an interesting thing to consider how different people and different cultures, I don't know, memorialize their families and friends. And it's, again, that sort of obvious topic, but also a topic that people don't really want to talk about.
Yeah. Or really dig into. No pun intended.
Right. Well, only in certain cultures.
Right.
Don't put people in the ground over
That's right.
in Tibet. That's horrible.
That's right. I also loved that one because I had not really thought about death traditions in terms of how different cultures treat the body. So that was one thing that came out of researching that, where I was like, yeah, it's really interesting. I never really thought about the differences in how people handle the physical body after death and how important that can be in some religions or some cultures to preserve it, and then in others to destroy it, but just how different that can be.
Yeah, and it's something that whether we want to think about the meaning of life and death or not, you are stuck with a physical body that you have to do something with.
Right.
And what does that mean?
So, like, it's bred out of necessity, but then there's also all of these elaborate things that have come out around it, too. In either preserving it or in the way that you get rid of it, too.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting facts for me from that episode was when I learned about embalming and how it just came from the Civil War, and it's not even anything to do with like health or anything. I guess I always under the impression that you had to embalm someone for a health situation,
like hygienic.
Or like so the body's not like carrying disease or something like that. But it has nothing to do with that at all, and that was really shocking to me. And honestly, just has changed I think my views of it a lot. And, that's just from looking into it because of this podcast. So
my favorite discussion topic from that episode was our after death PTO days and the Shabti dolls.
That was fascinating.
I know. It was like one of those little things where I was just like, what? I would never have thought about this. And I did go back. I was rereading that article. And so I also found out that the Shabti dolls are the most numerous type of artifact to survive from ancient Egypt besides scarabs. So they would make them and plant them in tombs in large quantities. And that was often a signal of, how wealthy you might have been. But that there were some tombs that have had a Shabti doll for every day of the year.
Wow. I mean,
yeah,
that makes sense that there's so many of them still surviving because I feel like people wanted to have a ton of afterlife PTO, so yes. You'd want to try to amass all of these dolls, right?
Right? Who wants to work their whole afterlife?
Exactly. I'm not surprised that that's like one of the largest surviving artifacts. I guess I'm more surprised that I've never encountered one as an artifact.
Right?
Like in a museum or something.
Yeah, I guess, and maybe that's something that I skipped over or whatever, but when I started to research the ancient Egypt stuff, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of know the basics of this, right? Because I guess in popular culture too, I feel like ancient Egypt was one of those that shows up more, mummies, tombs, great wealth, all of that stuff. And then when I was like, oh, and you needed to have Shabti dolls to make sure you don't have to work every day in the afterlife. I was like, what? Wait, they never talk about that.
Yeah.
In the Mummy.
Exactly. I feel like you open the crypt and there's just like a wave of Shabti dolls like
falling out. Yeah, apparently they were under the impression that when they got to the afterlife, Osiris would have jobs for them to do as well, just like they had done their whole lives.
Wow. I guess it's like a Beetlejuice situation. You like wait in line in the afterlife in order to get assigned your position.
Yeah.
I don't know. You become a Bob, like filing papers and all.
Right. But also talk about like a Groundhog Day Office Space moment. Just you die and then you just have to keep doing the same thing you've been doing for so long already.
But speaking of Office Space, I was shocked to remind myself that Office Space was about the Y2K problem.
I know. I'm glad you had brought that up because I had also forgotten and loved that episode, just reassuring myself that Y2K was actually a real thing.
Yes.
Not just a joke.
Or not like a weird fever dream that I had.
At one point, right?
Yeah. And that people spent years of their career working on fixing Y2K, and that's why there weren't massive repercussions. I think you, like you said, reassuring to my younger self.
Yes, right? Because I think we kind of talked about this in the episode, but there was a certain lack of understanding at that time, on top of the fact that we're 13 years old. So also the context of our age at that time. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to revisit as an adult and be like, oh yeah, okay, that's what was going on. Like,
right. This is what was behind the curtain that I didn't know.
Yes. Also something that felt a little bit like looking behind a curtain that I didn't want to look behind. Learning that the Nancy Drew books were actually heavily revised and that the ones that I grew up reading were not the original as the author intended written books. That made me sad, but I'm glad that I know it now.
Yeah, it definitely makes me want to go find an original copy.
Oh, I've been looking. They're not easy to find. I mean, not intensely, but definitely if I'm going into, like, I love to shop at Half Price Books a lot, and they have a whole section of older books that they get in. But I've always go and check the Nancy Drew books, and they're all the ones from the 50s. And I've set my mom on a mission to find them at antique stores.
I feel like it's crazy because I always thought that these Nancy Drews with the yellow cover and she's wearing 1950s clothes, I was like, oh, these are old. And so they're talking about luncheons and they're old. But then to find out that they aren't even the original text, I was like, wait, what? And the fact that they were written by a woman who was so freaking badass.
Oh, yes. That was really cool to learn more about the original author or one of the original authors and her life and how fascinating that was. I also really enjoyed. But I agree. I had the same thought. I have memories of being up in my grandma's attic, pulling down Nancy Drew books and feeling like, oh, these are so old. But in reality, the original books were even older than that.
Yeah, exactly. And that they've been influencing generations of women.
Oh, yes. Yeah. How long it's endured is pretty amazing, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you have to think about it like, our grandmothers were potentially influenced by Nancy Drew, and then our mothers, and then us, and then, children today are still reading.
Nancy Drew. Still so popular.
Yeah, that is really interesting to me, that sort of enduring legacy there that she has.
Agree. Incidentally, this Halloween, I decided to go as Nancy Drew because we had recently discussed this. And I had a small identity crisis because I was like, wait a minute, I'm dressing like the 1950s Nancy Drew, which I'm actually now kind of feeling is a lie.
You needed to be a 1930s Nancy Drew.
Well, I mean, it felt like I was picking the wrong one or something, but then I was like, I don't even know what the 1930s Nancy Drew looks like, or what do we like? The one in my head is that 1950s book cover Nancy Drew.
That's true.
So so I stuck with it, but I did have a moment of being like, well, this isn't even the real original, like the OG Nancy Drew. I'm not representing her.
Well, we had a very Y2K inspired costume this year for Halloween.
Oh, yes, you did. That's true.
Kevin and I went as Brittany and Justin, denim on denim on denim.
Yeah.
Which people recognized, so I felt justified in my choice.
That's funny that both of our Halloween costumes related back to episodes.
I mean, as one does.
I know I was surprised about the responses and also how interesting I found our bottled water investigation too. Yes.
I mean, I will say people have sent us a lot of conversation about lots of topics. So, that's not to say that there wasn't conversation about some other episodes, but the water one, I was surprised at the conversation it generated because when we were recording it, I know that you and I have been fascinated by the bottled water conversation, but I just wasn't sure if other people would be fascinated by that conversation.
I was apprehensive about that episode because I was like, people are going to think we're nuts just talking about bottled water. Like, no one cares about bottled water. But it was fascinating, and people were fascinated.
Yes. I think the biggest takeaway for me from that episode, from, I suppose, the research episode, not the tasting episode, but from the research episode was the fact that mineral water was sold as like a health tonic, and you could get it in bars and things and pharmacies, and there was a legitimate reason for bottling mineral water back in the day because it legitimately has minerals and other vitamins that you're consuming that are healthy for you.
And might be more potable, too, than other water available at that time.
Right. Versus today, fast forward to the 90s, all of a sudden you have this health scare from municipal water sources, and so people just glommed onto that and started making purified water to, I don't know, have capitalist profits.
Yeah.
And to me, that was just such a big takeaway that I'm like, but there's a reason for mineral water, and there's not really a reason for bottled purified water.
Other than convenience, right?
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah,
convenience.
Or if you're legitimately in a location that doesn't have safe water, like,
sure.
Caveat.
Sure.
But that was something that just didn't occur to me about the original intent for bottling this mineral water.
Agreed. I think on that note too, I was shocked that it really ramped up in the 90s, because I kind of assumed, because for me, bottled water has always kind of been around in the store, but I was growing up in the 90s, so that makes sense. But the idea that that's not a fixture on a grocery store shelf prior to the 90s, or not nearly as widespread, the Dasanis, the Life Waters, the all this whole range of purified waters now that they've marketed to us. Like, the idea that that was just as recent as the 90s did not occur to me.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
And just the fact that when we actually tasted them too, that
they were horrible.
Yes, that we did not enjoy the purified waters at all. And I feel
that
like
was very...
I was honestly not sure. I was like, oh, well, if I buy a high-end purified water, you know, not Dasani, the like Life Water or whatever, if I buy like a fancy one, maybe it legitimately
tastes better.
Good. Right. And it was not, at least to me.
Yeah. Right. Not for my palate either. I was also kind of surprised, because I also went into the tasting thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to end up liking the purified water better or something. And I just spent this whole episode making jokes about Dasani.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to eat my words. But no, actually, I have a legitimate preference for mineral water or volcanic filtered water.
That was
the taste
shocking.
Difference is real. Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty shocking to me. And I feel like I was joking about water sommeliers. And now I feel like I have a little more respect for them. Only a little, but...
I have to say, though, on road trips now, going into a gas station and choosing a water can be quite stressful if I really want water, because we stopped at a gas station not too long ago, and I went in and I was like, oh man, I'm so thirsty. I really want just some water. And they only had purified water. They didn't have a Fiji. They didn't have mineral water of any kind. And I was so disappointed. I was like, this is just, I'm not buying Dasani. I'm not doing it.
I refuse.
So I think I bought iced tea instead. I bought iced tea. It's like, no. If I can't have my volcanic filtered water, then I'll just have iced tea.
I feel like all that is saying is that our bougie grocery store preferences have now filtered over into having bougie water preferences.
You are correct. We're gradually just going to increase our bouginess the more we learn.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of grocery stores, though, the big news is that the
update.
Kroger-Albertsons merger was blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a federal judge blocked the merger, and then now Albertsons is suing Kroger.
How does that even make sense?
Because apparently Albertsons is alleging that Kroger didn't do enough to bolster support for the merger. And so now, since it got blocked, Albertsons is backing out and then suing Kroger as a result.
So they were going to get married. Now they're like, no, I'm getting divorced from you.
Divorce. Yeah.
Yes. Give me my money.
Uh-huh. Pretty much.
Interesting.
I know. So now I guess Walmart's just going to forever maintain its massive market share, which was something that I was shocked to find out about in the grocery episode.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me that Walmart had such a high percentage of U.S. grocery sales.
Yep. Because honestly, I think I said this in the episode too, I don't always think of Walmart as a grocery. I mean, I know it is, but it doesn't always seem like that's the same category to me. So the idea that that's the biggest market share, I was like, oh, that surprises me. And also that all of the other ones are so much smaller in comparison.
Yeah. I mean, I would have thought that Kroger at least would have been somewhat
competitive.
But
right.
Not really.
Not even close. Yeah.
Although, speaking of Walmart, the thing that blew my mind from that episode too was finding out that Meijer was the first store to have the idea of a superstore concept, and that happened in the 1960s.
Right?
That kind of blew my mind a little bit. That the superstore concept started way back in the 60s, because I don't remember seeing, I didn't live near a Meijer. I mean, maybe I'd go if I was visiting my family in Detroit, but aside from Meijer, I don't remember seeing any sort of superstore place with groceries. We had a Walmart near me, but it didn't have groceries.
Right.
When I was growing up.
I know. I was pretty impressed by that too. And it was something I'd never thought about because it never occurred to me that it would go back that far and that other stores hadn't done that at that point either.
Yeah, that was interesting to me.
Yep. I also loved about that episode discovering that shopping carts were something that people had to be convinced to use. Like, what the heck? Who doesn't want a shopping cart? That just made me laugh.
Agree. Like, why would you not want something to hold your groceries?
Right? The idea of just like actors, people fake shopping to model a shopping cart. No.
Yeah, no. That cracked me up. Kind of similar to the grocery store episode, just because I had experienced so many grocery stores everywhere we lived, was the liquor law episode. So that episode, I would say, also generated a lot of conversation amongst listeners. But what was interesting to me about that episode is that I wouldn't say that I personally learned new facts in that episode, only because I had already experienced living in all of these places. And so when I had moved and experienced all these different laws, at the time I was experiencing it, I was like so confused, and it really blew my mind. I was like, wait, they only have 3-2 beer, or wait, I can't buy it cold, or wait, I have to do this. But I think because it was just based on every time I moved somewhere, I was like, okay, well, here's a new system.
Yeah. Right.
Whereas when we were doing that episode, it was like, let me just tell you about all the wacky places I've lived and all their systems. I don't know.
Yeah. But what I liked about that one is I think that that's something that people don't always think about. I mean, I know that we've talked about it a lot because of how many places you've lived. And so we've had that comparison. Yeah. But even since that episode, just in general conversation, and like with people who haven't even heard that podcast, I've heard people make comments about, oh, we went on vacation to this state or whatever and couldn't get beer in the grocery store. And I thought that was so weird. And I think when you don't experience it as many times as you did, moving and having to shop somewhere, people notice it, but they don't necessarily think about why that is. And I had not thought about how many other possible ways you could restrict advantage. Like when we talked about Pennsylvania, that one was new for me. Again, I think I was aware how that different states handle it different ways, but was not aware like how granular it could get down to the municipality and why that came about. Yeah. So I don't really think I'd really given much thought to the whys behind all those differences.
Yeah. I think, too, that episode made me think a lot about Prohibition, but then I feel like Prohibition came up in multiple of our other episodes about how weird things are linked back to Prohibition. Because even in the cryptid episode, there was the Snallygaster, which was tied into Prohibition.
And then, of course, our Sloppy Joes as well.
Oh my God. The Sloppy Joe episode, I think that is my favorite fact that I learned of this entire season of episodes. I agree. I will forever be blown away and shocked by Sloppy Joe's being from freaking Key West, Florida,
Yeah. / Cuba.
And Ernest Hemingway naming them, and that New Jersey has its own Sloppy Joe, but from the same bar in Cuba. And
yes, still tied back to Cuba.
Yes. Because I think the thing that blows my mind so much about that Sloppy Joe fact is that I assumed going into it that Sloppy Joe's would have just been, I don't know, Campbell's test kitchen,
right?
Created this food to sell, right? Kind of like the green bean casserole, right? They like created a food. Or to be honest, the Iowa story,
exactly.
I could have been like, oh, that makes kind of what I figured. Where does beef exist in the U.S.?
Yep.
And where are people trying to make like a quick sandwich out of this meat? But when I found out about the competing tale from Key West, Florida, I was like, wait, this is so fascinating that number one, that there even is a competing tale for this food.
Right.
And number two, that this story is like so in depth with Ernest Hemingway and Cuba.
Rum running.
Yeah. Key West. Like, I wouldn't even consider beef to be a food that is eaten in Key West, Florida. I
wouldn't have thought of it.
Never in my mind would it have occurred to me that Key West would have been an option for Sloppy Joe origins.
Yep. Nope, that one definitely gets the mind blown award for the season.
I will never not be shocked by that fact.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and it's like you said too, I think on the episode, you were like, when we talked about this, I didn't know that there was going to be enough to talk about for an hour. And then the fact that we found all of that stuff, I was like, whoa, this sandwich is fascinating.
Yes, I know. Never would have anticipated that episode at all.
Me either.
Nope. I don't know.
That one was,
That one will blow my mind forever, I think.
Yep. When I said my favorite was the pizza episode, I think Sloppy Joe became a close second with that story. Because it was one of the most unexpected, I think.
100% most unexpected.
So, the cat episode. Thanks all for bearing with us as we developed this podcast.
Yes, I will say the cat episode early on in our podcasting abilities, and it was a test run.
Right.
So thank you.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I enjoyed talking about my cats, but I also realized that's probably not the podcast we intended to record.
Okay. I mean, cats are still amazing, and I'm still obsessed with the origin story of cats.
Yes.
And how we don't actually know if they're domesticated animals or not.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Very obsessed with
that. But could have dialed back maybe on the personal cat commentary if I
could have added more cat facts to that cat episode than what
So I have some for you to make up for it. Did you know when pet cats died in ancient Egypt, the owners would shave off their eyebrows as a sign of mourning?
Oh,
I thought
like
that was
the people that owned the cat?
Yeah.
The people that were the guardian of the cat?
Yes, the people who were the cat's guardian would shave off their eyebrows so everyone knew that their cat had passed away and that they were in mourning.
They could offer
which I thought was kind of, I thought it was kind of nice.
Certainly a better way to mourn than with an arsenic infused veil.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Where you're not allowed to go anywhere or do anything. Just shave your eyebrows off and look real weird. But at least people know, and they're like, oh, that person must be really sad because their eyebrows are gone and also because their cat passed away.
And their cat died. Sad day.
I know. Also, house cats can run at speeds up to 30 miles per hour.
Oh, wow. They're like mini cheetahs.
Yeah. They're very fast. They also have 32 muscles in their ears. Just in their ears, they have 32 muscles, and that allows them to obviously move them in different directions and spin them basically 180 degrees, right? So they can point them forward, then they can pin them all the way back. That's because of 32 little tiny cat ear muscles.
So what's crazy about that is I did a quiz that was like, can you tell this cat's mood based on their facial expression, right? But so much of that in a cat is ear positioning, right? Like cats, they might move their mouth a little or make a noise or something, but so much of their facial expression is ear positioning. And yeah, that makes sense that there's so many muscles there because their ears do all sorts of crazy things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I thought that was fun. They sleep an average of 15 hours per day, which probably a lot of people know and are not surprised about.
Yeah, true.
They spend a lot of their lives sleeping. I'm really jealous of them. And finally, when your cat turns around and does that loving thing where it sticks his or her butt in your face, which I feel like it's just one of those things. If you're a cat owner, like get used to it. Like get used to seeing your cat's butt. At some point, it's going to be in your face. But that's actually a sign of trust. They're turning their back to you. And it's like kind of a vulnerable position, but that just means that they trust you and they love you. So just remember that next time you're
next time you butt in your face.
Yeah.
You love me. You really love me.
Yes. So there you go. There's some cat facts to round out that episode that we were missing some facts in.
Missed opportunity for facts. Yeah. I feel like the Olympics episode had a lot of facts.
I was absolutely shocked by how much it costs to host the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
I had honestly never thought about the fact that a city pays to, one, even be considered to host the Olympics, but then pays for all the infrastructure, all of the event, like everything.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money that goes into that. I mean, it makes sense, but I just never thought about that. I don't know. Maybe in my mind, I thought there's some just Olympic association that's sitting on a boatload of cash and they host the Olympics and they just pick a different city.
Well, the International Olympic Committee is probably, like the IOC probably does have a bunch of cash, right? If the
but they don't spend it on the Olympics.
They must spend it on advertising or something because the cities are paying the IOC to bid for the Olympics. We'll see how it goes in LA, I suppose, with the next summer games. Well, the next winter games are in Italy, so I suppose those are first. But
well, that's fun. What part of Italy?
The 2026 Winter Olympics will be in Milan.
Oh, okay.
Kind of want them to bring back some of those old sports, though. Like the fact that tug of war was a sport was amazing.
Yes.
I'm just picturing a bunch of people from a country doing tug of war with another bunch of people from another country.
I mean, I'm all for bringing that one back. Or some of the other ones that were outdated too. I think that was also a really interesting thing to learn about was kind of how they have cycled sports in and out of the Olympics over the years. And, you know, that they sometimes put new ones in and sometimes they take them out. And things that I thought were always an Olympic sport are not.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not.
Yeah. We probably won't get breakdancing again, given how it went.
How could we not say something about that?
Unfortunately, I'm not sure that the breakdancing is going to come back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who are happy about that too. I actually enjoyed most of that event.
The breakdancing?
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah. I also thought it was kind of fun to find out that in the original Olympics, women had their own Olympic party where they were dancing and worshiping Hera and stuff. And I was like, that sounds like fun, though.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize there was such a long period of time between the ancient Greek Olympics and the modern Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah. When they reintroduced the Olympics in the 1890s back from pre-Roman times.
Yes.
Should we round out with
cicadas? We didn't even talk about cicadas yet, which is what started this whole thing.
Cicadas did start this whole thing because we've just been so obsessed with them for so long.
For so long. And spent so much time Googling and looking at maps.
Yeah. And even with all the time and energy that we've put into researching cicadas, I still learned something in that episode.
Yes.
I did not know there were 163 species of cicada.
I know. I also had the number of species of cicadas really blew my mind.
Yes. Yes.
Was not aware of that at all.
No, I did not understand that fact. I just was like, oh, there's periodic and there's annual. No.
Right.
There's 163 types.
Yeah.
And also that you can use cicadas to study jet propulsion because of the way they pee.
And that one's most bizarre fact of our whole season. I mean, really?
Yeah, I guess I've never even considered that insects pee, period.
Yeah.
Right? Like, obviously, they have to secrete something, but I didn't consider them peeing.
Well, whoever thought to use that in relation to jet propulsion also, I mean, kudos to you. Because I don't know where that idea comes from, but I'm glad we learned something, I guess.
I mean, I'm glad cicadas are useful in that sense, besides just to, I don't know, eat and leave their wings everywhere for jewelry.
Right, yes. But also not destructive, right? So also common misconception, which I enjoyed kind of digging into a little bit more, was peeling back the layers between the locust and the cicada and why people confuse them, and kind of some of the perceptions of cicadas that might actually be based on locusts. Like, locusts are the plague insect. Cicadas are not.
Right.
They just come out for a couple weeks, have a big party.
Yep. Giant orgy.
And die.
And then die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, not going to hurt anyone or anything, I guess. Provide food sources for birds.
Yep. Provide critical research information for jet propulsion, and then they go.
Right. Exactly.
But it's true, even though we've been talking about that one for probably over 10 years, still learn some things. And also, I feel like it was part of the impetus for us starting this podcast, because that's a conversation we always go back to and laugh about, because it is so random and we did so much research on it.
Yes. And it was just the whole moment of doing that research was a thing anyway, because we were just sitting talking and then like, well, now we must know everything about this. And the fact that we just jumped on our computer together at 1 a.m. to
to
learn
really
everything we could about cicadas.
Yeah.
Sort of sums up.
It embodies the heart of this podcast.
Pretty much.
But I've really enjoyed, every episode has been enjoyable. Some, I think, maybe better than others when it comes to our learning curve, but I've really enjoyed that learning curve too. So it's been fun, and some great obvious and not so obvious topics that we've covered.
Yeah, I know. I just am so glad that people who have listened to this episode have also enjoyed learning about these things too. And I, again, just want to shout out everyone who has listened and continues to listen and
gives us feedback.
Yeah, exactly. People have given us feedback. It's helped us improve. People have recommended our podcast to other people, and I really appreciate that too. Please keep recommending it to your friends or giving us reviews online. That means so much to us. And
letting us know what you think about the topics that we picked, or other topics that you'd like to hear about, or, those obvious things that you encounter every day that maybe you actually want to know more about. Those are the things we love.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess on that note, it's the end of the year, and we're wrapping up here with season 1 of our podcast. And so we're going to take a break coming out with new episodes for right now, but we're definitely going to be back in the spring with
2025.
Season 2. Yes, season 2 of our Obvious Facts. But if there's any topics that you want to see us talk about in season 2, we would love to know. You can send them to us on our Instagram at Researching the Obvious Pod. You can also comment on any of our episodes on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and let us know about any topics you might want to see. We would love that. We have a bunch of ideas in our back pocket, but happy to do some of your ideas too.
We love going down a new rabbit hole that we haven't considered yet.
Yeah, absolutely. See you next year.
That's right. New year, new season of our podcast. So make sure you keep an eye out for it. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Go Bears. Just kidding.
Thank you for listening to Researching the Obvious. To learn more fun facts about everything that we're researching, follow us on Instagram at Researching the Obvious Pod, all one word. You can also follow us on Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you know someone that you think would enjoy listening to all of our findings, please feel free to share or give us a review. Researching the Obvious is written, produced, edited, and hosted by Emily Fekete and Katie Nakanishi. Tune in next time to hear more obvious facts.